Hi everyone, it's me, Rebecca, the Colorful Book Nester, and today we're going to talk about all the books that I'm currently really enjoying here in my nest. So I know I'm not going to say it, but I am going to say it. I know it's been a while. It's been quite a while, actually. And for that, I'm sorry. And if the lights are going in and out, it's because the sun is playing havoc. Don't you like the little line down my face? But I can't fight with it anymore. So it's been a while, and trying to find a good way to film and a good time of day and with proper lighting just seems to be such a challenge. But I'm just going to go with it. I've missed the community. I've missed chatting with you, and I miss being a little bit involved and connected in that way. So I thought today we would just start out, since I am known as a Colorful Book Nester. You know, I have many books that feather my nest, and I thought I'd just start out with a few things that I'm currently loving, and then start kind of going from there and throw some ideas out there for some maybe future videos we could do. The first thing I want to talk about is my reading life. So basically, it's been going very well, and I have been taking this time to get back into the groove of really reading. And I've changed up a few things. So I used to be only reading one book at a time, and now I've developed a system where I can have a couple books going at the same time and still stay focused, which was my big issue before. I just couldn't seem to focus. And so getting back to one book at a time kind of allowed for that. But what I'm finding is I'm enjoying fiction and nonfiction, and I like mixing them up. I enjoy a good audiobook. So we're going with that. But something I wanted to share with you is a book that I recently read in the last, couple months that I really enjoyed. And that was The Garden of Evening Mist. Now, I really want to do a full discussion of this. This is a fantastic book. It's a historical fiction. But if you are interested in Asian history, particularly Southeast Asian, Malaysian, World War II crossover, and into after World War II historical fiction, this is pretty interesting. It takes a huge different beat from European World War II history, and it's little known to me. Malaysia specific, and with the Japanese that were here, and then also what was kind of going on during that time. So very fascinating, but also huge amount about a Japanese gardener and the Japanese way of gardening. So lots to learn from there. So ding ding for me. Historical fiction has some gardening in there, and beautiful writing, some really nice writing. So that's a huge recommend, and really enjoyed that. Currently, right now, I am battling my way through another book, which is The Big Green Tent. This is a bit of a chunker, and this is one of the reasons why reading more than one book suddenly became a need for me. This is quite a chunker, and I have to say, I'm not totally enthralled with it. I'm having some challenges with this book. And what I have found is that reading it before I go to bed is probably the best time of day for me, just to kind of read 10 to 20, maybe 30 pages and then go to bed, versus long reading times on this book. It's a little exhausting, but more about that later. But that's what I'm currently reading right now, and it's on my bedside table. Now, other books. There are tons of other books in my life, and the biggest one I have to say is probably right now are my various journals. Now, some of them are actually planners, but I'm not going to say that I'm planning in them. I'm doing a lot of memory keeping. I'm doing a lot of just fun journaling. A few of those include what I'm calling my Hobonichi random collections. I've really been enjoying it. It's very colorful. I'm doing an experiment right now, and this is about ink colors and trying to match the dailies in my Hobonichi. The ink, each month is a different color, and I'm trying to match that with my actual inks. So I have lots of ink samples. I'm doing a lot of ink play and really enjoying that. And that also brings up the other book that I'm really liking, is that I've created an ink journal, which has been actually quite handy when I get a pen and go, what is in this again? And so it's been great having the ink journal as well. So those are two books that I've been playing a lot in and enjoying. I'm doing different font practices. I'm just doing some good old writing and just enjoying the writing process. I seem to have a need to physically write. And it doesn't matter if I'm copying from a book or if I'm writing, a journal entry, a personal journal entry for myself, or if it's just playing around with fonts. There's something very calming for me to be able to be writing and playing around with all this. So loving that book. And then you're probably asking, what about coloring? Well, coloring has come and gone, and comes again. It really is one of those things that when I sit down, I end up doing hours and hours on it. And because I have quite a few other responsibilities that I'm trying to take care of, and we're doing the traveling we're doing, and I have the journaling aspect going on, and the reading, you get it. Coloring has kind of taken a sidestep. But hold on one second, let me get the book that I'm currently coloring in and really enjoying. All right, so this is the book. It's a Garden of Fairy Tales. Now, this is a very familiar artist to anybody who's been doing coloring for a while. She's put out a couple books, and I actually have those other books. This is a new version. This is Kanoko Ugusa. That is the artist, and it's a lot of whimsical wildlife and kittens and fanciful or fantastical situations and life. Reminds me a little bit of, Beatrix Potter and things like that, where you have all these animals that are having, they might be wearing clothes. It's really cute. And what I've been doing is kind of I started off, I've got about 4 or 5 pages that basically I've been working on, and I continue to work through them, and I enjoy them because of that. But I'm really getting close to finishing at least one page, finishing up a few things, and that is this one here. Now I'm looking here, but I'm going to have the pictures, of course, for you up on the screen. And it is a fish pond with some interesting geometrics put inside it. And let me just show you, this is what it started out as, this side of the page. And then the other side is, of course, what I've been coloring. Learning to layer, and I'm using a set of new pencils that my husband has bought me for, let's see, it was my birthday? It was my birthday. And I'll talk about those pencils in a separate video, but they are actually from Mitsubishi. I didn't even know there was such a set, but the actual case and everything it's in is brilliant. Like, I wish I could just order just the cases and put all of my other pencils in this type of case. So anyway, been really enjoying that. And so this is the coloring book that I've been in. And again, I kind of start things and then I kind of move around in the book. It's largely what colors I'm wanting to work with, because each one of those pages that I have in this book has very specific color schemes I'm using, or pencils. So, well, it's always a color scheme regardless of the pencils. But so that's been what I've been focused on for right now. As I said, the coloring comes and goes. I mean, I can do 3-4 days of just intense coloring, and then I kind of back off for a little while. So that is about it for me, just to kind of pop in and let you know. Now, one big thing as far as what books are in my life, but one book that is now out of my life, hold on a second. And I think you're going to be surprised by this. It's actually this little guy. So this is a little Stayology A5. And what it was my reading journal. I really want to do a reading journal. But the problem is that if you're reading more than one book and you want to take a lot of notes like I do, how many pages do you do in between? And that's been a real challenge for me. And though I enjoyed a lot of the practice, I felt like I was being stifled with what I could keep notes on what I could, because what I do is when I read, I follow those rabbit holes. When I'm reading something, especially like something like The Garden of Evening Mist, I really take a lot of notes. I make a lot of notations. And between the writing, I want to keep those quotes. And I also kind of have to chase down historical information. It might be a term I need to go look up. And for me, part of remembering it is having it written in some form, like doing that extra step of looking it up. And so I needed something to actually do this in. And so my journal was not hacking it. But what I did start doing is a digital reading journal. And I have really been enjoying this. So I'm still going to count it as one of my books that I'm currently enjoying. It's just in a different format. It is a really interesting reading journal. And if you are interested in me giving more of a tour of this reading journal and talking about it, let me know. I think it's a great way to do it. Definitely for somebody who's a little bit over the top with her notes. Now, granted, not every book do I do a lot of notes in. And that was one of the challenges with a physical book, because it's like, do I leave 2 pages between each book as I'm going through it? Do I only need 1 page? This, I don't have to worry about that anymore. If I'm listening to an audiobook, I can put my review, I can put little notes about it, and no quotes, because I'm not going to necessarily stop an audiobook and put quotes down. Whereas then if I have a book like The Garden of Evening where I have notes and notes and notes, I can put it down. So that is definitely something I'm really enjoying. And it might be something some other people are interested in looking into. And that is on my iPad and through an app called Good Notes. Just Google it here or put it up in your search engine. You'll find reading journal digital or even digital planners to kind of see what I'm talking about, but really enjoying that. So now that we've done that, kind of a quick little getting back into the swing of things, you need to tell me, what are you currently really enjoying? And I don't care if it's in a book form. I don't care if it's just one of your hobbies. I'd love to know what you're currently working on and doing and interested in. And, be on the lookout for a couple more book reviews. I have a couple of those from NetGalley that I need to get finished. And also, I was thinking of going back into my journaling a little bit more and explaining some of my different journals. So my reading journals and possibility on the digital side, and my other journals, my Hobonichi ink play, my ink journal, my ink sampler, because the fountain pens are a real thing. Yeah, they've really made it home here. And all the ink samples I have, I really have went overboard. But I'm in quest of the best matching ink to the dailies in my Hobonichi cousin. So at least I have a purpose. What's yours? All right. Well, as I always say, keep turning those pages. Until next time, bye for now.